So, seal or top coat. You have options here, depending on what and how you want it to go. This is, I'm just going to kind of go through the different kinds of top coat or sealer that you could get. These are just, kind of a gradation. So this is Aussie leather conditioner with beeswax. This is from Tandy Leather. I've had it a long time, used it for lots of things, lots of different things. There's beeswax and a mix of other kind of oils in there. I'm not too sure. They don't get into much detail. Mostly you're kind of looking at some of the marketing. Beautifies, conditions, strengthens, and waterproofs. So remember how I said, I was going to use neat's foot oil. This would condition, which is that hydration kind of thing. Strengthen, that's marketing, and waterproofs. So the beeswax is what's going to stay on top of everything that you've done. The oil will, whatever oil is in this, will draw into the boot, and then the beeswax hopefully would, stay on top. So this doesn't smell that bad. This is pretty inoffensive. I wouldn't want to be smelling it all day, but it's not so bad. This is I don't know, in the $15 range, something like that. But again, it's lasted forever. I use it a lot for a lot of stuff. This is kind of this isn't very precious to me, so I might use it for a wide variety of things. Leather option. This is from Son of Sandlar, Mystique. This is this is quite precious, I think. There's not a lot in here, but a little does go a long way. This is made by the maker of my boot. It's what they use, and if you ever have the opportunity and finances and etc. to buy Son of Sandlar boots, you will be walking in wealth. It feels, especially when you first get those boots, they look beautiful. They have done such a good job, not only in construction, but just how the boot looks off of the rack. And this is what they use, this and other, other chemicals. They have a wide variety of different kinds of chemical that they're going to use to make that top coat, but you just kind of look at what's in here. They're saying it's clear mink oil to weatherproof and condition, specifically formulated for Son of Sandlar leathers. So it's weatherproof and a conditioner. And their marketing says the benefits are a specially formulated natural compound to moisturize, condition, and weatherproof your Son of Sandlar smooth leathers. Use as needed to add years of wear, and that is very true. And they're specific to say this is okay for any color smooth leathers. So this stuff smells like will fill a room. That smell lets you know that it's working, I guess. But man, whew, it'll clear a room, and then it dissipates after time. Just so you know. End of the spectrum, we have snowproof weatherproofing original formula. So this helps prevent mildew, dry rot, salt stains, and scuff marks. This isn't for light leathers, so if you have a more natural colored boot, something other than black, maybe brown, it may darken it. This is very waxy. There's a lot of beeswax. I can barely push into it without, it's quite viscous. A lot of beeswax is in this. I'm not sure if there's any way to tell. This is old school, so some people would say to only apply this in the summer when it's 100 degrees, because that's what it's going to take for this to melt. Basically, the wax needs to melt and conform to your boot, and then in the heat. Some people put that in an oven. I don't like that. I don't like it. Don't want to. But this, if you can do it, if you can apply it, especially in October and November before things really get snowy and wet, this is really going to withstand the winter. You might only need to do this once a year. You can get by with these, but after a while you just need a ton of wax in there. There's a good amount of wax in this, but it's nowhere near as viscous as that. Tandy leather, also Tandy leather, but you can find this a lot of odd places, places that have fancy boots, leather work boots, so like runnings or boot shops. You'll if you keep your eyes open, you'll find something called snowproof, weatherproofing. You could get that. I'm not going to apply that today. I'm going to go for the Mystique, just because I really like how the boot looks when this is done with it. That's what I'm going to do today. So if I wasn't using this, I would use this. Someday I'll put that on, but not right now. So what do you need to put on this fancy stuff? Just following the directions. Apply to clean and dry leather. We're revitalized already by putting the neat's foot in the previous step. Apply a liberal coat of Mystique with a soft rag. So cut up t-shirts. This old-timey brush, again, is going to come in handy. You can get a new-timey brush. They sell these new, if you keep your eyes open at like antique shops. Usually you can find them for fairly cheap, because people don't take care of their boots much these days, so they don't know how to use them. But now you do. So, but you can find this new rather than same kind of place that you could find like snowproof, weatherproofing. Places that sell leather work boots usually have some sort of boot care thing. Just keep your eyes open, you can find that. Bam, boot. Okay, so I'm going to take my Mystique, taking a liberal amount, doing the boot Muppet, and just gonna circular motions. Always seems to be circular motions with boots. I'm going to put a liberal amount into there, kind of ignoring the burning sensation within my eyes and nose. You want to seal, you think of this as sealing the boot, so you're kind of pushing some into those seams, anywhere water could get in, not just the flat layers, but in the construction of the boot. Don't always use this. This isn't my go-to, but when I'm feeling fancy or I want to protect my boots for a couple more months, every so often. Going everywhere that I cleaned before, hydrated before. I guess I should say crack a window, use in a well-ventilated area, but you're all grown-ups. You know what's good for you. Again, you want to take special care at the back of the boot and the front of the boot, which are taking the majority of the abuse. Not in the scope of this video. I'd recommend getting inserts for all your boots, something aftermarket, something that works with your foot, because your feet are a precious resource and you use them up all weekend by being on them, running around, orking it up. The more you can be kind to your feet, the more they'll be kind to you. It's not taking long to absorb in. This is good stuff. Smells bad. It's great. This stuff was pricey, but worth it. It's looking better and better. Going to goop a little more on the toes. Just going to leave it. This stuff is drying pretty quickly, so this is only gonna 5-minute wait, maybe less. Okay, that's had a little chance to dry. You can see it's kind of beating up a little bit. We're just gonna basically spread that around and shine up our boot using old-timey brush. Again, you could use this kind of going at a light, very light, high speed. You could do the same kind of thing. I just find this awkward. Some people do very well with it. I just take it, get as big of a handle as I can, keep the boot secured on something, and I'm just going very lightly. Basically, you want heat, if at all possible, as I'm going, just doing light strokes. Also, see how that's glossing up? That's what you want. This is what's going to take it from matte or dull to shiny. It'll never be as shiny as a military boot, but it will protect your feet from wet. This, since this has picked up, you know, tiny bits of the Mystique, transport it anywhere on the boot. It's going to make anything at this point look a little bit better. And when I say little, I mean a little. I'm kind of noodling with this at this point, but this is a nice boot. I would wear that. Okay, let's compare it to the other one. Alright, here's a little comparison, before and after. This boot, haven't done anything to. You see the snow scuffs in the back, the mud, the memories, the running away from people trying to kill you. A little of the mold that I cleaned off at the beginning. Notice how this is matte or dull, and this is shiny up here. This is it feels stiff. It doesn't feel elastic as like up here. It feels hard and dry. Even though it was wet, water is going to kind of leach out those oils. Yeah, I really did a number on these. And compare that to a nice boot we just cleaned together. Shinier, feels more supple as you kind of pull. You know, it's still a little tacky, like a tiny bit tacky. I'm just going to leave this on that chair back overnight, basically, and then do a final dust off, and then that'll go in my shoe bag, ready for a new adventure. This is just a little video. I want to put out more little videos like this. I'm trying to keep them short and tight. We'll see what the final length was. And if you have questions as we go, hit me up at game. Play on, nerds.